Look, they put it away.
It's on. It's not moving. Can we hear it?
All right,
Can you let that in?
Yeah.
so just
That
move
you
back.
missed my.
I saw you with your
Fans.
headphone on. Yeah.
This is the beginning of the show.
I gotta get the mic, sir.
Thank you. Beautiful painting. I was about to say it was a rock star.
All the early shows. There we are. Uh-oh. Where is guess what? Where's the camera, Jennifer? What's this one?
No, it's right.
It is? Oh, it is? No, we gotta take this one up.
No, it's this one, the program. See, that's the preview.
But I wanna say hello.
Oh, okay.
I have to say hello, bonjour, bonsoir. And buenas noches. It's Planet Glee. And guess what? A new video for Planet Glee and like new spirit. We're of the people always. And it's not like, all about Jennifer and her whatever fashion. No. It's about the people. So, without further ado, those of you who watch our humble public access 29 and 76 must know Jamil.
The #1 neighborhood sports analyst, but we're not talking sports today.
Let's talk sports. I like watching Mission High. I like them. And we have an esteemed guest, whom, if you look in the blue section there, it says guest Sergeant Yulanda Williams. And do we have a one shot on Yolanda? We do. There we are. Yay.
All right. I'm happy to be here this evening with you.
It's an honor to have you, really.
Yes.
So glad you came.
Yes. I wanted to share with you that we are concerned, as you are, about the current situation that we've been dealing with on a national level surrounding racism and race relations. Um, Racism is obviously alive and well. And of course, we have to look at it even deeper when we suddenly see in South Carolina a 21-year-old young man gun down Christians who were worshiping in their church at their Wednesday night Bible class. The motive for the massacre, in my opinion, was simplistically, we don't have to complicate the matter, it's racism. It's not about biases. It's not about domestic terrorism. And the end results was an assassination of a U.S. senator and the actual murder of 8 innocent people. And the thing that made me cringe the most was when I heard media reports that this young man potentially had some mental health issues. This was stated prior to anyone even conducting an interview with him. And to me, it's alarming when America is so quick to make an excuse for criminal behavior. And again, it makes me think about the double standards that exist within our criminal justice system. And I'm speaking specifically about the fact that if the tables were changed and let's say the murderer was a black man, will we be stating today that it was just an incident of domestic terrorism? He may have had some mental health issues. So we need to start really thinking about what it is we say, how we say it, and realize that words are sometimes more impactful than the physical abuse that we as citizens endure on a daily basis. And as a Black American, I must say that I feel like some of my other fellow Black citizens have said to me, I don't feel like I'm necessarily comfortable here anymore. I don't necessarily feel like I'm wanted here anymore. And in the city of San Francisco, I know you're aware that we had the San Francisco Police Department text gating incident. That was the start of now a constant situation that I deal with on a daily basis as to how do I fit into society and when will I be allowed to just be an American like folks of other colors experience in other countries. In England, you're considered English. You don't have to classify it that you're a Black English person.
Sure.
Right.
Why do we still have these classifications?
You know, you even have to do that when you go fill out an application for a job.
That's
they
right.
want to know your
Yes.
race.
That's right.
You know, which is interesting.
Right.
But, you know, I think another thing that's interesting is that Puffy Combs seems like he's getting more criticized for a fight that he had with a coach who was yelling at his son than this kid who murdered some people. You know, so it's like we see a contrast right there in how the media depicts things. You know, it's very selective.
That's true. That's true. The media actually spins the public emotions. And that's dangerous because I think that we have to be very careful about the amount of TV we watch and what type of media we watch. Now, these type of talk shows, I think that they're important for us to listen to and to observe. But at the same time, we have to always think about things from our own perspective based upon what we know is morally right and based upon the principles and the proper characteristics in life, so that we can all coexist in the same environment.
Right, because we're all Americans, we should be, without the title. You know, and it's an interesting thing, like somebody on, I think it was social media, maybe YouTube, they had a video, and it showed a Chinese person, Chinese American, black person, African American, Hispanic person, Latino American, white person, American.
And see, that's the thing that gets us into the difficult situations that we experience
Yeah.
today. And because, when you're a child, you don't really distinguish
Not at all.
from one of your friends for another based upon the color of their skin. I mean, racism, I still say, is a learned behavior. And as adults, many of us learn how to control it, while others of us just have no sense of control or responsibility to another human being. And that's extremely sad in America.
It is, and I have to say that I believe that the United States is the most superficial of all the countries in the world. It's like, how do you look? It's not your expression. It's not how you walk, or how you shake a hand or you kiss on the cheek. It's no, how do you look when you're walking down the street? Oh, and I really feel that I'm pretty much first generation American, and my dad and I would watch the news, and he was just like so anti-American, anti this. I'm gonna say it. This capitalist dominated superficial society where everything is dependent upon what you buy, what you have, and what you how good are you at hustling.
That's true. Yes. Jennifer, I just recently read a book that I'm sure many of the viewers have read, 7 Habits of a Highly Effective Leaders, a Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And I'm telling you, that really sent me into a different realm of thinking. It made me realize how responsible I am for what happens to others in life. It should never just be about me. I should always be concerned about how something is impacting someone else. And it's important that we realize that our most important things we can bring to the table is our integrity, is our ability to deal with each other in an ethical way, our ability to treat each other in a dignified, respectable manner.
Now, may I interrupt for a
Sure,
second?
sure.
Because I feel like you have an important place in the politics of our city. Right? And we just recently had the centennial of City Hall, and I'm wondering now the name of your group,
Officers for Justice, Peace Officers Association.
Peace Officers Association. Now, have you met at all with the mayor of San Francisco and talked about how you feel police brutality, let's just say it, can be curbed, can be ended, can be avoided? Has the mayor expressed any interest in that with you?
Well, it's interesting that you bring this topic up because the mayor indicated when we were at a meeting, in fact, it was an NAACP breakfast, that it was his intention to have his staff meet with us. That was back in March. However, to date, I have attempted to meet with the mayor, However, we have not been successful. So it is our hopes that at some point in time, the mayor will recognize the Officers for Justice as being the second oldest law enforcement association within the San Francisco Police Department. And hopefully that will stand for something, because in the past we have met with so many mayors. In fact, we've had a relationship with all of the previous mayors, and we'd like to have one with him.
Huh. Didn't know that.
Yes.
We had a call.
Yes, caller. Caller.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. This is JoJo Plantain.
Oh, hi, JoJo. How are you doing?
Hi,
Oh,
JoJo.
Hi.
Thanks for calling in. Our esteemed guest is Yolanda Williams from.
Oh, yeah, Yolanda Williams.
Hello, how are you, JoJo?
Oh, I'm doing good, Yolanda.
Good.
Yeah. Do you think that the police in San Francisco are just?
Or just, you said?
Yeah, do you feel the police in San Francisco are doing a good job, or do you think they're doing a bad job?
Well, JoJo, I wouldn't want to say we're doing good or bad. I would say that there's always room for improvement, but by far and large, the majority of the men and women that serve the city and county of San Francisco do desire and put their best foot forward in giving you the best service that they possibly can. It's just unfortunate that in the last few months, we've heard about those who actually brought discredit to the San Francisco Police Department. So I really hope that you and other citizens will not view all of us the way these few have represented this noble profession. But I will encourage you to do one thing for me, JoJo. If you're really concerned about the type of people that police in the city and county of San Francisco, do me a favor as I encourage minorities, women, and LGBT. If you don't have a criminal record and you want to do something to give back to society, give back to your community, put in an application for the San Francisco Police Department. Join us and help us deliver the type of service that you want to see delivered in the communities in the city and county of San Francisco.
Okay.
Thank you for calling.
Thank
Oh,
you,
you're
JoJo.
Calling,
welcome.
JoJo. Always a pleasure. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer Glee, and thank you, Yolanda Williams.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I think, I think what's interesting is like, how do we get here as far as the relationship between people and police? Because, like, at one point in time, when you're growing up, you might want to be a police officer, right? And then when you get to a certain age, maybe teenage years, I'm just being honest, the police are perception-wise are the enemy, right? And this just is a social thing. And it's, it's funny sometimes, I can even remember being in class, and the teacher I had, he was an ex-Fed, and he said, when you're driving and the police get behind you, don't your blood pressure kind of rise a little bit?
Hey, let me tell you something. Mine rises when I'm not in uniform and the police get behind me if I know I've done something wrong. So it's a human instinct. Yes,
Right,
yes,
right.
yeah.
But I think on another thing too is like we got to understand the political ladders, because I think the police officers are sometimes they're just doing the job. They have to follow orders.
That's right.
So we got to look at per se who's sending out the orders.
That's right. Leadership starts from the top.
I got a question. This is what I heard.
Okay.
I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is political.
Okay.
I heard that when the jails are kind of empty, judges get on the police department and say, you need to get out there and fill these jails.
Well, I haven't heard that one, but I guess they wouldn't necessarily be too happy with my ability to fill the jails because my intention when I come in contact with people is to try to have some communication if they have not done something that is just a heinous crime. Most of the times it's quality of life violations and it's things that you can deal with people from a more humanistic level. As police officers, it's not our claim to fame to try and see who can arrest the most people during the course of a career. At least I hope that's not what the intention of most police officers are.
I think it depends on the area of the country that you live in, right?
Well, yes, that would be true too. But in San Francisco, I want to think that we're a little bit more tolerant of some of the crimes. I mean, because we're one of the first cities to say, okay, you can smoke marijuana in public. You just get the marijuana card. I mean, San Francisco's been a trendsetter for some of those things. So
That's true.
That in and of itself makes me hope and think that we're trying most times to invoke the spirit of the law here in San Francisco as opposed to the letter of the law. But it's just unfortunate that every now and then you have a few bad apples, as we have recognized today, and there's bad apples everywhere. It happened in the police department, but the police department is just a kamikaze of everything else that is existing.
Exactly.
Now, can I just ask a question?
Go ahead.
Okay, really fast.
Okay.
Now, I voted for Obama.
I did too.
And I was really hopeful. But I noticed when he was speaking that he never mentioned the Vietnam War. And I think it didn't get mentioned during the centennial or anything. And I had a feeling that the wars were going to continue. And if this country has wars that it shouldn't be fighting right now, it seems to me there's also a war in this country against people of color.
That's true. That's true.
And I'm wondering, since we have very little time, if you can get an audience with our president and just lay out what you've been doing, your justice for peace, and just like spread San Francisco love, joy, what we know San Francisco is and was.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up because as the Officers for Justice, we are hoping that we can get our message out on a national level. We've had calls from people from Britain. We've had a call from someone that is from Australia. So we've been on CNN News, but we do want to get the message out and reach far. And it would be wonderful if at some point we could get a call from someone at the White House that wants to hear firsthand what we've been going through and wants to hear some of the solutions that we could potentially offer as law enforcement officers. But one thing I want to encourage your viewers to do and how you can assist us is by monitoring the police department and the level of services that you get. Write your city officials when the police department appears to be conducting business in an unprofessional manner. And these are just a few of the many things our organization does and has been doing since its inception. We're here to serve you, and we joyfully do it because we recognize that we are your stewards.
Yes.
Oh, that's so sweet. I'm planning to have a panel discussion, 50 minutes.
Okay.
I really would love to have you on it, and I think it's going to be women only.
Wonderful. I love it.
Sorry, Jamil.
Oh,
The power of women.
Yes.
We have to have a powwow.
We wouldn't be here.
Yes, that is so
Yes.
true. That is so true. That's a very sweet note.
We all come
We
out
have
through
someone
one
waiting
source.
at the door to come in.
Okay.
But
All right.
yes, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
But
Thank you.
I'm